Hello! As always, if you are new here, welcome. If you have been here before, welcome back. So today, I had a little bit of an epiphany last week, okay? I was walking to Aldi, where I grocery shop, doing arguably the most mundane task that a human being has to do. I was going to get groceries. And it's cold in Chicago right now. I'm in my full-on winter gear. I've got my coat down to my ankles, hood over, beanie on, scarf on, gloves on. Like, it was cold. I was walking to get my groceries. Most people would say that's arguably not the most enjoyable task of all time. And I was walking, and I remember walking, I didn't even have my music on. Like, I didn't even have my headphones in. I was literally just walking. And I remember taking a really deep breath in and just feeling so calm. I just felt very happy. And it struck me because there was really nothing to be happy about in that exact moment. I'm arguably freezing cold on the way to grocery shop, not necessarily a task I truly enjoy. And yet, I was really at peace. I was super calm, and it caught me off guard, and it really got me thinking and just taking note as the week went on of other times that I felt like this. And it struck me again, another time it hit me again. I was riding the bus on the way home from work, riding across the river in downtown Chicago on my way home from work, rush hour, lots of traffic. Again, I didn't have my music in, which I think it's so interesting that this keeps hitting me when I don't have my music in, because I think I'm just really dialed into the moment. And I just remember looking at the river and just being like, damn, like, I'm so calm. I'm so unbothered right now. I'm just happy. I remember thinking when I was on the bus, I remember thinking to myself, like, is this what happiness feels like? Is this what people search for? And it's interesting because there's so many things in my life right now that are not what I want them to be. There are so many things that I'm still working for and striving for and looking forward to doing in my life. Things aren't perfect. There's nothing about my life, honestly, right now that I would say is perfect, just the way I want it. Like, I'm still in building mode. I'm still in recovery mode. I'm still in get my life together mode. I don't know if that honestly ever ends, but this is the first time in my life that I've ever caught myself feeling at peace with my life, feeling content with where my life is right now, and yet still motivated to continue to go after the things that I want and the life that I want to build, but at the same time feeling very content and at peace with the life that I'm living right now. That feeling caught me off guard. I've heard people talk about that feeling before, and I couldn't even begin to like comprehend what it would actually feel like in person. It's one thing to hear someone else explain it, but it's the first time in my life I've ever felt like that, where I've ever just felt like I just let out a huge sigh of relief, where it's like, I'm okay. Like, everything's okay. Like, things are moving, things are working. It's taken me 27 years to get there, and a lot of work and a lot of this and a lot of that. And it really got me reflecting this week on kind of how I got to this point and maybe how I ended up in the previous headspace that I was in, completely unhappy with my life, the opposite of at peace, and nowhere near content with what I was doing or where I was at. And I think so much of it honestly has to do with this move to Chicago, because so many things come with that. I detached myself from the people, places, and things that I had been doing for the last 10 years, got completely out of my comfort zone, and have really started to discover who I am at this age in my life, who I am at this phase of my life. And it got me thinking about my past a lot, even back like into my childhood. And I have spent my entire life doing what I thought was right, doing what I thought other people wanted me to do, following the steps that I thought that you had to follow in life to be successful. I played sports because I played certain sports because my parents wanted me to play those sports. I played certain sports as long as I did because I thought that I needed to do that to go to college and potentially get a scholarship and this, that, and the other. I was hyper focused on my schoolwork and my grades in school, which is not a bad thing. It got me to where I am and got me the degree that I have, but hyper focused on that in school because I thought that that's what you had to do. You had to follow these steps and go to this type of school and get this type of degree and I stayed in state for college because I thought that that was kind of my only option, money-wise, and this, that, and the other. I've done a lot of things. I got to college and I started living this party lifestyle because I thought that that's what college meant. I thought that that is how I was going to maintain and keep and make friends. And like I've said before, wouldn't change the experience for anything. But it's a huge part of why I ended up where I ended up, right? Like, there's so much of my life that I can look back on and be like, I don't know that I actually did a lot of that because I love to do that, or because the people that I loved in my life wanted me to do that or loved that for themselves, or because I thought that it was the right step that I was supposed to take or that it was the right path that I was supposed to follow. Like, there's just a lot of things in my life that I can look back on and be like, that's wild, because I don't know if that's actually me. I don't know if I had had full autonomy or enough self-awareness or self-respect to do what I wanted to do and live the life that I wanted to live. I don't know that I would have been making those decisions for myself and following the path that I followed, X, Y, and Z stage of my life. It's just an interesting self-reflection, and then I think about where I am right now and this shift to peace and happiness that I have. And this is truly the first time in my life that I am living my life 100% for me. It's crazy to me. I'm working a career that is completely independent of my family, which I worked for my family business for a long time because I thought that that's what I had to do to make people happy or follow the path that I was meant to be following or this, that, or the other. And I'm working a job right now that I got on my own, that I'm happy for, that I own myself, right? Like, my corporate 9-to-5 job, I got myself, I work it myself, I'm completely independent of my family in that realm, right? And then I'm hanging out with different types of people than I've ever hung out with before, and they make me feel very calm. I don't feel like I'm competing with anyone. I don't feel like there's this kind of one-upping going on in any sense of the word. They're different than people that I've ever hung out with before. I'm doing hobbies that I have honestly thought about before, but I've just never pursued on my own. I've never gotten out of my comfort zone enough to say, okay, we don't, need to be doing X, Y, and Z, partying or drinking or going to bars or whatever on the weekends. We can spend our time doing these other things that really fill me up and bring me joy, whether it be yoga, whether it be working out in various different types of way. This that we do every single week is a huge one for me. The rock climbing, like, I just have these different hobbies that I'm doing. And honestly, so much of it, I think, this is the first time in my life that I'm doing things and not caring so much about what other people think. I think it's just part of the human experience to care to some degree what other people think. I don't know that we ever escape that, and I don't think that it's necessarily healthy to say that we're supposed to be completely free of other people's opinions. I do care what other people think, duh, But this is a first time where it is not holding me back, where it is not such a loud voice in my head that it keeps me from doing things that I want to do. And that's a really good feeling. I'm up here really building a life around who I am, what I like, and what I like to do. And I've never gotten the opportunity to do that in my entire life. And I think that's why I feel so calm and content and at peace with where my life is right now. Because even though it's not everything that I want it to be, it's mine. And I am in control of it, and it's making me happy right now at this point in my life, and I don't think I've ever had that before, and that's a really good feeling. And doing things for yourself that fill you up, that make you happy, keeping those kind of promises to yourself, for me personally, has built so much self-respect, self-awareness, and self-love. Like, I really feel like I'm taking care of myself more so than just physically or like health-wise, more so than that. Like, I feel like I'm loving myself for the first time ever, maybe. Like, I really feel like I'm respecting who I am and what I like and what I'm meant to do with my life. I feel like I'm respecting that for the first time, and I feel like I'm feeding that, and I feel like I'm building that girl up for the first time in my life, and I've never done that before, and I think it's bringing me a lot of peace. I think it's making me very happy. I spent 26 years of my life living a large portion of my life for other people, for who I thought I needed to be, for who I thought I was, for the acceptance and appreciation of other people, for the opinions of other people. I spent 26 years of my life living like that. And for the last year, it's the first time in my life that I'm really building and living a life based on what I like, who I am, the respect of myself, the appreciation of myself. And I think it's really cool that it's bringing in all of these different types of people and these different types of opportunities and these different types of activities and things and places. I'm doing different things than I've ever done before. And I think that was maybe a fear of mine in the back of my head, that if I pivoted, it wouldn't be the same kind of life that I was living, and it's not. But I really appreciate my life right now. I appreciate the reward that I'm receiving for all of the work that I've done. I feel like I'm nowhere near, and I can't stress this enough, I feel like this is just the beginning of the process, but I'm taking note and taking stock of how I feel right now and why I feel the way that I feel right now, because there are going to come times in my life where I may start to lose this feeling, or I may start to get out of this headspace or enter into a phase of my life that is not conducive with peacefulness and contentness and all of that. And I want to remember why I feel the way I feel right now, so that I remember how to check myself and get myself back into alignment when things do inevitably go off tilt in life, because that's just life. So I'm just taking stock of it. It feels good. It took me back a little bit, took me by surprise a little bit, and I think that's why I feel compelled to share it with y'all, because I didn't see this coming. I didn't expect it. I know that it's the subconscious goal that was always there, was to find happiness and peace and contentment, but it wasn't something that I was like actively like, do I feel happy today? Am I content today? Am I peaceful today? Like, it was never something that was on my mind. It was never something that I like actively, consciously thought about. And yet, when I felt that way, it struck me. And I knew that it was happening, and I felt it. And it was good. It was a good feeling. And I just wanted to share that with y'all, because I think I've been doing a lot of work and sharing a lot of my story in the hopes that I could feel this way, and in the hopes that it can be inspiring or resonate with people to, maybe start to change some things in their life to hopefully feel this way too. And yeah, it feels really good, and I will keep y'all up to date if things, start to change, or if I, can put it into words in a different way, or this, that, or the other. But life's good right now. Life's good right now. Like, I still feel a little uncomfortable saying that because I'm not, this isn't a feeling that I'm used to or that I'm necessarily comfortable with, but it's how I feel. So thank you guys so much again for coming and listening to my talks and my streams of consciousness with you all. I'd love to just it's like therapy for me. I just kind of talk and share my feelings and share my thoughts, and I hope that it resonates with y'all as it resonates with me. And yeah, I hope that you all have a great week. As always, please be sure to like, follow, share, rate, comment, subscribe, all of the things, and I will see you back next week.